Hello everyone, myself Sunita. Dear students, today we will study about theory of evolution through mutation. This theory of evolution is given by Hugo de Vries. He was a Dutch botanist. He is known chiefly for suggesting the concept of genes, rediscovering the laws of heredity in the 1890, while unaware of George Mendel's work, for introducing the term mutation and for developing a mutation theory of evolution. According to Hugo de Vries, new species they are not formed by continuous variations, but these new species appear due to the discontinuous variations. That is, by sudden appearance of variations, which he named as mutations. Hugo de Vries stated that mutations are heritable. These mutations, they persist in the successive generations. Now we will discuss the experiments which he conducted. Hugo de Vries conducted his experiments on evening primrose. The scientific name is Oenothera lamarckiana. And he found several unusual types. When this evening primrose was self-pollinated and its seeds now allowed to grow, then the majority of the plants in F1 generation, they were similar to the parents and very few were different plants. The different plants, they were also again self-pollinated and their seeds, they were sown. The majority of the plants in the F2 generation, they were similar to their parents, while a few were still more different plants. And this continued generation after generation. These plants appear to be new species, and he suggested from his experiments that new types of the inherited characteristics may appear suddenly without any previous indication of their presence in the race. This is the experiment which the Hugo de Vries conducted on evening primrose. Here you can see the normal plants, they were self-pollinated and their seeds are allowed to grow. What is the result? In the F1 generation, majority of the plants, they were normal plants. They are like their parents. And a few were different plants. Then these different plants, they were again self-pollinated and their seeds were allowed to grow, Then he got the different plants in majority in the F2 generation, and still more different plants, they were fewer. This is the plant evening primrose. You can see its image, how it looks. Now, what are the prominent features of the mutation theory? What does it say? Mutations or discontinuous variations, they are the raw material of evolution. But this theory says that the evolution is through mutation, through discontinuous variations. Mutations appear all of a sudden. They become operational immediately. Unlike Darwin's continuous variations or fluctuations, mutations do not revolve around the mean or normal character of the species. The same type of mutations can appear in a number of individuals of a species. And these all mutations, they are inheritable. That means they can be inherited generation after generation. Mutations appear in all conceivable directions. The useful mutations are selected by nature, whereas deadly mutations, they are eliminated by the nature. However, useless and less harmful ones can persist in the offspring. That means which is not harmful for the next generation can persist. Build up of differences produce new species. Sometimes a new species is produced from a single mutation. That means it's not a gradual process. Mutation is not a gradual process, all of you know. So evolution will not be a gradual process according to this theory. It can occur in a single mutation, in a single generation. Evolution is a bumpy and discontinuous process. Now, what are different points in the favor of this theory, or what are the favorable evidences in support of this theory? First of all, mutations are actually the source of all variation, and hence fountainhead of the evolution. Mutation theory can explain both progressive and retrogressive. That means causing a return to an earlier and usually worse state. Retrogressive metamorphosis आपने सुना होगा. Evolution. As the ratio of mutations is not the same in all individuals and their parts. Mutation theory can explain the occurrence of both changed and unchanged forms. क्योंकि mutations जो हैं उनकी रेशो इक्वल नहीं होती है किसी स्पीशीज के इंडिविजुअल्स के अंदर या उनके पार्ट्स के अंदर, तो म्यूटेशन थ्योरी बहुत इजीली एक्सप्लेन करती है कि क्यों ये दोनों तरह की फॉर्म्स अवेलेबल हैं हमें स्पीशीज में की कुछ अनचेंज्ड हैं और कुछ चेंज्ड हैं. A number of mutations have appeared in the past. You can see the example of this Ankon sheep. They have given rise to a new varieties to these mutations. Ankon sheep, it is a short-legged variety which appeared suddenly in moistures in 1791. You can see the normal L and normal ram and Ankon sheep in between these two, which is short-legged. Hornless cattle developed as mutation from the horned cattle in 1889. Single mutation can give rise to a new variety and even species of plants. Even a single mutation can form new variety. That means species of plant. For example, delicious apple, Cicer gigas, novel orange, red sunflower, hairless cats, and double-toed cats. They have developed through the mutations. Criticism of the theory. Oinothera lamarckiana of Hugo de Vares was not a normal plant, but a complex heterozygous, having the two alleles at the corresponding loci on homologous chromosomes, different for one or more loci, formed with chromosome irregularities. Natural mutations, they are not common, as Hugo de Vares thought them to occur. Most of the mutations are negative or retrogressive. Mutations are generally recessive, while traits taking part in evolution, they are usually dominant. Mutation theory cannot satisfactorily explain the development of mimicry, mutual dependence of flowers, and pollinating insects. This theory does not explain the role of nature. Thanks a lot.